Yo, you guys, this is Blacklist of the Abyss, and you're watching my review for Naruto, chapter 664. And I had a mixed reaction about this one, uh, both big three chapters this week. I had a mixed reaction because there were some things I didn't like in this chapter, but there are also some awesome things. So, first, I'll just start with the beginning. Jugo has a line here where he's kind of trying to keep our suspicions of Orochimaru alive. He says this line about how with Sasuke the way he is now would be a perfect opportunity for Orochimaru to take his body, and we see Orochimaru have this creepy smile. So like Kishi's trying to keep our suspicions of Orochimaru alive and say he might not be entirely good. So that's that. Um, Big news in this scene is that Karin sensed the chakra of the person who was with Sasuke, but she didn't recognize it. Okay, so that has to make you think, is it really Kabuto then? Because there's no way that Karin hasn't met Kabuto before. There's no way. So she definitely knows his chakra signature. I mean, it's possible that it's changed from what it was. It definitely has, because he got the Orochimaru whatever cells, whatever, and he became a sage and all of that stuff. But Orochimaru took his chakra and his power back. So where that leaves Kabuto's chakra, I don't know. But either way, it either has his chakra would either feel like Kabuto's or it would feel like Orochimaru's. Either way, right? So either way, she should be able to recognize it, but she can't. And what's more, she says that the feel she gets from it is that it's like she gets a terrible feeling from it. So that would make me think that the person is going to that person isn't there to help Sasuke. They're there to hurt him, to finish the job, to do something like that. So, you know, again, it can't be Obito because we saw that. We can't be Karin because we saw her. So, I mean, who else can it? Is it really Kabuto? Is it really? I don't know. Um, I'm having a hard time. If you know what would annoy me, if it turned out to be like, like Shikaku or Inoichi or Ao or Mabui or any of those guys that were at the base, that would, if it was one of those guys, I would be so annoyed. Right, again, terrible feeling, but still, like if it was one of those guys, that would actually legit annoy me, like actually. But I don't see that happening. Hopefully it doesn't. That'd be real annoying if it did. Um, yeah, after that scene, we see this comedy scene with Lee, Guy, and Ten, which is completely out of place. There should be no comedy in this chapter at all. None. There should be no comedy in this arc at all. All right. And what's worse is that Kishi actually had Ten make a joke about Neji's death. Who does that? Seriously, who does something like that? Like your friend dies, and like not what like an hour later, and you're making jokes about him, like, oh man, oh, if you hadn't died, you would help me out with like. Who makes a joke about their friend dying like an hour after it happens, if that? Like that's and who actually makes a character make a joke like that? Like that actually annoyed me. I didn't like that at all. All right, but Lee and Guy, they aren't sensory. This happened a couple of times. Once with Lee and another time with Kakashi. They were sensing people, like they were sensory ninja or something when they're not. So I don't know. Apparently Lee could sense Sakura. Maybe it's his feelings for her. I don't know. But apparently he could sense Sakura, and Kakashi could sense Obito, or at least not anymore, but could before. But whatever. He sensed Sakura going by. So Guy starts to put the picture together, put the situation together, and says we should head back to where Kakashi and Minato are. So yeah, there they go. They're going to head over to Kakashi and Minato and Gaara and Sakura and Naruto and Black Setsu and Obito and Madara. Okay, because Madara shows up there, as I said last week. All right, but before he gets there, okay, he feels something in his chest, and what he does is he spits it out, and it turns out to be those two sealing ninja tools from the Sage of the Six Paths. All right, the one that Ginkaku and Kinkaku were sealed in. All right, and it ends up hitting Guy and Lee in the back of the head. Tenten recognized them right away because Tenten knows a thing or two about those items. All right, but the first thing I thought of when I saw this was of Ginkaku and Kinkaku. Like, are these dudes gonna come back out and like start fighting or give their chakra to Naruto or something like that? But then I realized they're Edo Tensei, and Kabuto undid the jutsu, so if they came out, they should technically just disappear. They should. All right. Then after that, I thought of Samui and that other Cloud Ninja guy who got sucked in. All right. If they come, I mean, I doubt they'd be any help, but if they came out, then all right, cool. I mean, actually, no, not cool because Samui's like the only actual casualty in the war except for Neji and Shikaku in them, right? So no, not good, not good. But that was that. The next thing I thought of was Darui because he's actually used these items before, all right? So I don't know, maybe he would come back in the story at some point. Then I thought of Tenten because, like I said, she knows a thing or two about those items. She was using not those two exactly, but the Sage of Six Paths items in general because she was using that fan. She was using that fan a whole lot. Her freaking awakening in Storm 3 is using the fan, fire style, water style, earth style, wind style. She's like doing everything with this fan. Like Tenten knows a thing or two about these items, all right? So I was thinking, hey, maybe she's actually going to do something. And then I was about to turn the page. And I was just sitting there, and all of a sudden, it literally came to me like that. I realized, holy crap! All right, these guys are gonna. That's how they're gonna beat Madara. Right there, those sealing items. I said it last week, Reaper Death Seal, but I didn't know how they'd actually get it on him. Well, there you go. Here are these items right here. You seal things. Sage of the Six Paths sealing items, no less. That seal things. So all you need to do is say a word. That's all you need to do. Say a word. And when I realized that, I was like, I wish I did a live reaction. I jumped up. I started running around my room. I was jumping up and down. I was freaking doing a jig. Like, I was like, oh my God, he did it. He did it. All right. Like on some Dora the Explorer crap. Like, literally everybody thought that Kishi was going to mess this up somehow, all right? Because he said in an interview that he didn't know how Madara was going to be defeated. And so everyone knew this was going to be like, plus Madara is so overpowered. Everyone just knew, like, there's no way this is going to end well. But he did it, all right? He did it. He found a way to defeat Madara that actually makes sense. You don't need to weaken him or anything like that. You just have to get him to say a word. And that's it. All right? So, like, he did it, all right? He found a way. All right? He did it. He found a way to beat Madara. And that's, like, my favorite part of the chapter. One of them. Okay? One of them. All right? So that was awesome. The fact that the items Madara spit up are going to be his own undoing. All right? I thought, like, that was clutch. That was real clutch on Kishi's part, coming up with a way to defeat him. I don't know how that exactly works, where the items were before he became the Jinchuriki, like inside the Ten Tails, but what about before the Ten Tails was revived again? Like, where were they then? Inside one of the tail beasts? Like, where were they then? I don't know. Who knows? Inside the Ghetto Mazo, I guess. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. They were still inside the Ghetto Mazo. Alright, yeah, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Alright, alright, but still, alright, where the other items are, I don't know, because those two are just the sealing items. They still need the items where you can actually get his word that he says the most. They still need, and the fan itself. They need all those other items. Where they are, I don't know. I don't know. Probably on some like battlefield, like over there or something. I don't know, but they need to get them quick. Yeah, that's that. There was this one panel here, right after that, where it showed the tree that Obito made, that Infinite Tsukuyomi was going to be cast with. So apparently, the tree actually is still up. How that's possible, I don't know, but apparently it is in fact still up. So that was interesting. After that, I think after that is when Gaara and Sakura and Naruto show up to where Kakashi and Minato are. And the situation kind of gets explained to them, what's going on, and Kakashi and Gaara decide to deal with Black Setsu while Minato saves Naruto, but they don't really deal with him because of what he does later on. What he ends up doing is kind of having part of him split away, go underground on some Naruto versus Neji crap, and then come up, or some Shikamaru shadow manipulation stuff, But he goes underground, and then when Minato tries to seal the other half of Kurama inside of Naruto, Black Zetsu intercepts it, and I guess he has Kurama sealed inside of him. So Black Zetsu is now the Jinchuriki of the other half of Kurama. I'm assuming that's what happens, and then Madara shows up at the end. Um, so I don't know what's happening with Naruto. Like he's not, things aren't looking too good for him right now. Karin could go in and save him. You know. Maybe they run into Naruto before they get to Sasuke, because maybe he's just on the way. I don't know. I don't how the map is all laid out right now, where people are. I have no clue right now. I'm just whatever. All right. But yeah, that's how that goes with the whole Naruto situation. And the only other thing to talk about in this chapter is the flashback with Minato and Kushina. And the flashback was cool, I guess. I mean, personally, I really liked it, not because it helped progress the story in any way, but just because, in recent interviews, Musashi, not just recent videos, but in recent interviews, but interviews in general, Musashi Kishimoto has been talking about how his previous life experiences have influenced the series. And one of the ones he talked about was how his getting married and his becoming a father himself has influenced how he thinks of the two characters, Minato and Kushina, and how he has them interact with Naruto. So I thought I just thought it was really cool how this flashback went. Just looking at the way Minato and Kushina talked and everything, I kind of just replaced those two with Masashi Kishimoto and his wife, who I don't know what she looks like or anything like that, but I'm just being like, I just like replacing their words. Like I just thought of it as not Minato saying, "Don't worry, I'll protect our child." I thought of it as Masashi Kishimoto himself saying that, "Don't worry, I'll protect my child," and his wife saying, "But you're going to be busy with, making Naruto, being a mangaka. What happens if our kid becomes a troublemaker and he doesn't listen to what anyone says?" He's like, "Hold on a second. How do you know that he's not born yet?" He says, "Well, it's because I'm his mother." And then Masashi Kishimoto answers, "Well, don't worry, I'm going to protect our child because I'm his father after all." So I just like looking at the way Minato and Kushina interact with each other. I just replaced them with Masashi Kishimoto and his wife, and I just think it's really. I mean, like I said, it's not like it affects the rating that much. It's not like the flashback itself progressed the story or anything. It's not like it was the best flashback ever, but I just thought it was just nice. It was a nice flashback when you think of it as not the characters himself talking, but Masashi Kishimoto himself. It's like he was giving a message to his own child. I thought that was really cool. Right, so I don't know. Maybe I'm getting too soft. I don't know. I just thought that was pretty cool. How he can add his own life experiences into the story and reflect them. So I thought that was cool. But that's all there really is for this chapter. The last half was good with the twist and how Black Zetsu became the Jinchuriki. I thought that was really good. Madara coming up with a way for himself to be defeated. I thought that was great. That was great. I didn't think it could be done, but he did it. Mad props to Kishi. Mad props. All right. The stuff with Lee and Tenten and Guy, those comedy, I didn't like that at all. Then the stuff with Karin and is it really comedy? So overall, the chapter was actually really good, like an 8.5. But I'll give it an 8 out of 10 just because of that comedy. I just didn't like that. It was in poor taste, I think. And just completely out of place. But yeah, overall, I'll give the chapter an 8 out of 10. I thought it was pretty good. And yeah, that's it. Rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.